Not sure where you can eat on Royal Caribbean's Independence of the Seas? I'll walk you through breakfast, lunch, dinner, and specialty dining, showing you all the menus and sharing my honest tips. I've cruised with Royal Caribbean, P&O, Princess, and Marella, so I'll give you honest comparisons as we go, including what's included, what costs extra, and which venues really stood out. And to make it easier, I'll be showing you the actual menus throughout. Plus, I've linked a PDF in the description if you'd like to download them all in one place. Let's start the day with breakfast. Here's where you can eat on board. The Windjammer Buffet is open most days for breakfast from around 6:30 a.m. until 11 a.m., so it covers both early risers and those who prefer a later start. The Windjammer Buffet really impressed me at breakfast. Compared with P&O, the choice is a step up, and I'd put it level with Princess for quality. You've got everything: a full English with bacon, sausages, hash browns and eggs, American-style pancakes and waffles with syrup, an omelette station where you order and collect when your buzzer goes off, plus continental items like cheeses, cold meats, pastries, and yogurts. There's fresh fruit laid out too, from melon to pineapple, and plenty of breads for toast or bagels. On our sea day, it was busy, but I never struggled to find a table. A big plus compared with some P&O sailings, where space feels tighter. Coffee, tea, juices, and water are all included. But if you've got a drinks package, you can also grab specialty coffees at the Windjammer bar to start the day. And of course, before you even step into the Windjammer, you'll hear the famous washy-washy reminder at the entrance, a fun way the crew encourage everyone to sanitize their hands before eating. On my last cruise with P&O Arcadia, they only started enforcing hand washing after a norovirus outbreak had already spread. So it was great to see Royal Caribbean take a proactive approach right from the start, making it both light-hearted and effective. The main dining room breakfast should feel more elevated, with chandeliers overhead and waiter service. Service was excellent and quick, but the food itself was almost identical to what you'd find in the buffet: eggs, bacon, pancakes, cereals. Compared with Princess Cruises, where the dining room breakfast feels like a proper step up, here it felt more like a quieter version of the buffet. Still, it's a great option if you prefer a calmer start or don't fancy walking around with a plate. Here's the main dining room breakfast menu, so you can see what's offered. If you've purchased the key, the disembarkation breakfast is a very different experience. Held in the main dining room, it's calmer, quieter, and feels like a proper send-off compared with the chaos of the buffet on the last morning. No sense of rush, friendly service, and hot food served directly to the table. Here's the key breakfast menu, so you can get a feel for what was included. For a grab-and-go option, Café Promenade is ideal. You can pick up pastries, muffins, or a piece of fruit if you're heading off early on an excursion. It's open all morning, and there's usually no wait. If you'd rather stay in your cabin, continental room service breakfast is free. Things like pastries, fruit, cereals, and yogurt. If you want hot items like bacon or eggs, there's a small surcharge. Here's the room service breakfast menu, so you know what's available. And if you'd like a closer look, I've linked a PDF with all the menus in the description below. Next up, lunch. Independence has plenty of choices, depending on whether you want something quick by the pool or a sit-down meal. By the pool, you've got fish and chips, Royal Caribbean's take on a British chippy. Most items are included. The only extra charge is for lobster tail. I went for the shrimp and chips, and they were excellent. Hot and crispy. It's a great quick lunch spot, and although it's popular, I never had to wait more than a few minutes. The Windjammer at lunch was just as strong as breakfast. You'll find curries with rice and naan, a daily roast carvery, burgers and hot dogs, pasta dishes, salads, and a really good bread selection. Everything was hot, fresh, and regularly topped up. On sea days it felt busy, but not overwhelming, and on port days it was much calmer. I'd rate this buffet above P&O and Marella, and on par with Princess for both quality and variety. If you've purchased the key, Embarkation lunch in the main dining room is a real highlight. It's based on the Chops Grille menu, with starters like shrimp cocktail and Caesar salad, steaks for mains, and a great choice of desserts like a chocolate cake or cheesecake. It feels like a VIP start to your cruise, especially compared to P&O's Embarkation Buffet. Here's the key lunch menu so you can see what was offered. I didn't eat in the main dining room for lunch, except for the key Embarkation Day lunch. But here is a sample menu of what's on offer. Sorrento's Pizzeria is a Royal Caribbean staple, and it's open most of the day. I had it for lunch. After returning from Bruges, the pizza was cheesy, hot, and exactly what you want after a day ashore. You can grab slices from the counter or order a whole pizza to take away. It's especially popular late in the evening when the Royal Promenade is buzzing. Café Promenade is open 24 hours, offering sandwiches, wraps, fruit, and desserts. It's a great spot if you just want something small. And up on deck 11 near Splashaway Bay, don't miss the free soft-serve ice cream machines. They're a favorite, with kids and adults alike, and they're available all day. Moving on to dinner. Here's what you can expect in the evenings. The main dining room has real wow factor, 3 decks high, chandeliers, and a sense of occasion. You can have a fixed dining time or choose any time dining. We had early seating at 5 p.m., which worked well for a short cruise because it freed up the evening for shows and bars. We only ate here once, on formal night. I started with mozzarella sticks. They were fine, but not the kind of elevated starter you expect on a formal evening. For mains, I chose the roast carvery dinner. It was tasty and filling, but felt more like an everyday option, rather than something special. Dessert was an English trifle, simple but delicious, and a nice way to finish the meal. Here's the formal night menu so you can see the full range. The Windjammer Buffet at dinner really stood out. It wasn't just burgers and chips, there was a proper mix of international dishes. I saw everything from Indian curries with naan bread, to Asian stir-fries cooked fresh Italian pasta stations, and carvery meats with all the trimmings. There's a good salad bar, cheeses, and plenty of desserts, including hot puddings, cakes, and cookies. What impressed me most was how fresh everything was. Staff were constantly topping up dishes. Nothing sat around for long. Compared with P&O, the choice is wider, and the presentation feels more modern. Compared with Princess, it's very similar in quality, but I found Independence had more variety night to night. Best of all, the atmosphere was relaxed. It never felt as packed as breakfast, and I could always find a table without circling. Sorrento's is the late-night hero of Independence. It's always busy, especially after the shows, but the line moves quickly because fresh pizzas are constantly coming out of the ovens. You can grab slices straight from the counter, and because they're turning them over so fast, the pizza is always hot and fresh. Café Promenade is open 24 hours, and ideal if you want a sandwich, wrap, or slice of cake in the evening. It's never completely empty, so you can always find something. And if you'd rather stay in, room service is available with a small surcharge for most items. Here's the dinner menu so you can see what's offered. Want to see more than just the food? I've filmed a full Independence ship tour. Check it out after this. And finally, let's look at the specialty dining options, the venues that cost extra, but promise something a little different. Royal Caribbean sells specialty dining packages from a 3-meal deal to the unlimited dining package. If you're planning to try more than one venue, it can often work out cheaper. Izumi Hibachi was the standout of my sailing. The atmosphere is electric, with chefs cooking on the teppanyaki grill, cracking jokes, juggling utensils, even singing. It's part meal, part theatre, and everyone at the table gets involved. I had the chicken hibachi with stir-fried veg and garlic rice, plus the spicy, crispy shrimp roll from the sushi side. Both were fresh and full of flavour. I tried some of my sister's steak too, which was just as good. Portions are generous, and the garlic rice in particular was spot on. Beforehand, you get a complimentary green salad. And for dessert, I'd recommend the assorted mochi ice cream over the sesame balls I ordered. Izumi is an extra charge, but the mix of entertainment and food makes it one of the best specialty dining experiences I've had at sea. Here's the menu so you can see the full range. Chops Grille is Royal Caribbean's classic American steakhouse. I didn't dine here this time, but having sampled the Chops menu through the Key lunch, I can say the quality is excellent. Here's the full Chops menu for reference. Giovanni's is the Italian specialty venue. I didn't manage to eat here during my sailing, but I've included the Giovanni's menu so you can see what's available. Johnny Rockets brings American diner nostalgia, onboard red booths, jukebox music, and comfort food. I only had a milkshake here, but the burgers looked popular. Playmakers Sports Bar is Independence's lively sports hub. Big screens showing live games, a buzzing atmosphere, and a menu of wings, nachos, and burgers. It's more of a drinks and snacks venue than a formal dining experience, but it was always busy in the evenings. If you're a sports fan, it's a great spot to settle in with friends, order a platter of food, and watch a game. Other options include vintages. I never saw anyone eat here on my sailing, or any menus, but worth considering if you enjoy wine pairings. Chef's Table, on the other hand, is Royal Caribbean's most exclusive dining option. It wasn't offered on my short cruise. So overall, Independence of the Seas gives you an impressive range of dining. But food is only half the story. Want to know the best bars, pools, and quiet spots on board? Watch my full Independence of the Seas ship tour. Click on screen now.